A scene of wild boars ravaging a field corn appeared before our eyes. The land was trampled. The farmers stood there, stunned, looking at the devastation. A herd of pigs can destroy hectares of land in just one night, leaving serious consequences for those who depend on agriculture. Previously, tracking them took hours, even days, but now, with just a few simple steps, we can determine the exact location of the herd. Can we gain complete control with drones? Join us on today's trip. The drone circled over the orchard near the house. A herd of about 7 to 8 wild pigs was digging in the soil there. Immediately, the whole team moved along with a pack of hunting dogs and began to ambush. The herd of wild pigs being chased panicked and ran away, rushing out of the garden. At this time, we were already waiting outside, weapons in hand ready. When the target was in sight, we immediately pulled the trigger. The first spoils of the day made us extremely excited. They were all wild boars with huge sizes. No wonder their destructive power was so great. Without further hesitation, we continued to search for the next targets. This time, the drone detected a few individuals hiding among the trees. After determining the location of the wild boars, we quickly deployed an ambush. In the blink of an eye, 3 boars fell under accurate shots. Accuracy and speed are the vital factors in this hunt. Here it is. On the hillside, a wild boar was trying to run as fast as possible to escape the pursuit of the hunting dogs. Amidst the cheers of the whole team, the target gradually became disoriented. When the wild boar was tired, it was time for us to take action. After the crisp gunshots, the wild boar was still in place. Some nearby pigs took the opportunity to run away, but that was a wrong choice. Each target was taken down one by one. This time it was more difficult. The herd of pigs was large and moving continuously. It took 15 minutes of chasing for the whole team to close in on them. When the gunshots rang out, a wild boar charged straight at us. The tension was suffocating, but immediately, a teammate's shot took it down less than 5 meters away. The whole team breathed a sigh of relief. The other wild boars were also quickly found. The encirclement was tightened. We opened fire simultaneously. Some of the more cunning targets tried to hide behind the fruit trees. However, we were prepared in advance. In just a few minutes, our number of spoils had increased significantly. While we were enjoying the joy of victory, the noise from the bushes on the side of a road caught our attention. Raising our vigilance, guns loaded, we immediately took position that took place. A black shadow flashed past us. Adjusting the scope, firmly pulling the trigger. A perfect kill. Headshot. Heading towards the top of the mountain, the sight before us was amazing. It was a large herd of wild boars. The drone helped us track them, but we had to run for hundreds of meters when we had the chance. We only managed to take down 2 before the herd ran away. Not willing to give up, we found more suitable shooting angle to attack. This position was perfect for an ambush. When the whole team pulled the trigger, for more wild boars were taken down on the spot. The hunt ended with an unexpected encounter. On the way out of the hunting area, the familiar shadows appeared once again. Unable to ignore, the whole team quickly adjusted their scopes. From the ambush position, they aimed precisely at the vital points of each target and pulled the trigger. Seeing the wild boars fall one by one before our eyes, we knew that today was a successful hunting day. Looking back at the spoils after a long day, we couldn't help but feel proud. Drones are truly a powerful weapon, helping to detect and track wild boars from a distance, significantly reducing search time. Wild boars are no longer just a concern for farmers. Now, they are causing nightmares all over the world, especially in the United States. Wild boars not only invade land, but also threaten communities, destroy crops, and endanger people. And today, we are on the road again, continuing the dramatic battle with this animal. Follow our team of hunters on their wild boar hunting journey and witness the thrilling moments of the chase. Early in the morning, we were at the edge of the forest, ready for a challenging hunt. We went deep into the dense forest. Just a few minutes later, the hunting dogs picked up the scent of the prey. Their barks echoed throughout the area, signaling that the target was very close. Following the sound, I headed towards a clearing between the trees. Through the foliage, I saw a herd of wild boars running in panic, trying to escape the fierce pursuit of the hunting dogs. Quickly hiding behind a large tree trunk, I raised my gun, aiming at the largest wild boar in the herd. It was running fast, but I waited patiently for the right moment. When it was clearly in my sight, I took a deep breath, held the barrel of the gun steady, and pulled the trigger decisively. The loud sound of the gun echoed in the deep forest. A fatal shot. This was not the first time we had set foot in this forest. As experienced hunters, we knew the habits and movements of the wild boars well. Therefore, in this area, many observation posts have been built, becoming ideal positions to help us monitor prey and hunt effectively. Choosing a nearby observation post, I quickly climbed up, stabilized my position, and was ready to wait. From above, my vision covered a large area, making it easy to detect even the smallest movements. Suddenly, a black shadow rushed past right in front of my eyes. Reflexively, I tightened the trigger. The wild boar was hit, stopped, and collapsed on the side of the road. Not wasting the opportunity, I quickly turned the gun to the left. At a distance of about 200 m, another wild boar was trying to run away. Taking a deep breath, I aligned my aim and pulled the trigger. This time, the target continued to be taken down neatly. As I left my hiding place, the quiet atmosphere was suddenly broken by a loud noise. Suddenly, from between the trees, a wild boar rushed forward with red eyes full of anger and a dizzying speed. It seemed like it had been waiting for this moment for a long time. Although it was a dangerous situation, with my extensive experience in hunting, I did not panic. Everything seemed to happen very slowly. I quickly realized the situation and calmly raised my gun. Aiming precisely at the vital point, I pulled the trigger without hesitation. The bullet hit the wild boar's head, causing it to collapse immediately. The number of wild boars was increasing. They appeared everywhere, surrounding my hiding place. Every movement in the forest made me highly alert. It felt like the whole forest was bustling with the presence of the herd of pigs. That was the opportunity one was waiting for. Everything was ready. Gun in hand, bullets loaded. I was just waiting for the opportunity to fire. One shot, one kill. Gunshots rang out continuously. Each wild boar fell mercilessly.
Good.
After taking down the herd of wild boars at the observation post, I didn't stop. The forest next door was still uncontrolled, and that was where I continued my hunting journey. I moved cautiously, avoiding revealing my position. Every step was carefully calculated. As soon as I entered the forest next door, the pack of hunting dogs that had been lying in wait began to bark loudly, signaling that the prey was not far away. With the support of the dogs, I easily took down 4 more wild boars, increasing my number of spoils.
Yes.
As soon as the gunshot rang out, a few wild boars in the pack realized the danger and hurriedly looked for a way to escape. However, I had already grasped their every move, and they could not fool me. I immediately adjusted my position and pulled the trigger. However, the bullet did not hit a vital spot, so they still had the ability to escape. However, its body was damaged, and its ability to move was severely reduced. In the end, it could not escape its fate of being destroyed. In the midst of the chaos, the remaining wild boars managed to find a way to escape, disappearing from our sight. But we were not worried. With the support of the hunting dogs, we quickly regained the initiative. After a short time, the dogs found their hiding place. The barking of the dogs echoed throughout the forest. I adjusted my sights, identifying each panicked prey within sight. And immediately, I pulled the trigger. The last wild boars were taken down, unable to escape. After many difficult hunting trips, I realized one thing. Tracking and locating wild pigs from the ground is not only difficult, but also potentially risky. Especially when they quickly escape into the bushes. Determining the direction is almost impossible. So, a bold idea came up: hunting wild pigs by helicopter. In the US, wild pigs are not only an invasive species, but also a nightmare for the agricultural industry. With an impressive reproductive capacity, an average female pig can give birth to 12 to 20 piglets per year. They destroy crops, erode the land, and cause billions of dollars in damage every year. That is why controlling their numbers has become an urgent task. Can I control the situation? Join me in this dramatic battle. Today, I decided to try a new method: hunting wild boars from a helicopter. With the support of a Robinson R44 Raven and a Wedgetail Industries WT-25-308 Winchester rifle, a specialized weapon with high accuracy. When everything is ready, we start to set off. Our destination is the open land near the forest and the nearby fields. Walking around, I check the terrain as well as look for traces of the invaders. It seems that hunting by helicopter is a good choice. From above, the wide observation range helps me easily detect their traces: plowed land and destroyed crops. Flying across an open field, I spotted the first targets. They were impressive with their shiny black fur. The size of adults up to 100 kilograms and sharp fangs. Tom quickly adjusted the altitude, kept the plane stable, and approached the target. With the skills and experience accumulated over the years, I raised the gun, decisively pulled the trigger. One shot, one kill. In order to quickly take down the wild boar, I held the gun tightly, calmed down, and chose the vital points. The noise from the helicopter made the nearby wild boars panic, rushing out of their hiding places. However, it was a wrong choice. The helicopter circled over the field. We had just discovered a herd of about 10 wild boars, all of them large in size, and with an incredible speed, up to 40 kilometers each. When the first shot rang out, I knocked down one. The rest immediately scattered to run. This is also a quite typical behavior of wild boars. However, the helicopter gave us a superior advantage. When the first shot rang out, I quickly knocked down one. The rest immediately scattered to escape, but each shot was a sentence for the invader. In this chase, the wild boars could not defeat the power of the helicopters. When Tom chased another herd of wild boars, I fired continuously, but it seemed that the herd of wild boars had realized the danger. They had learned to avoid my attacks. Indeed, this hunting experience from above was not as easy as I thought. From the edge of the forest, Tom flew back to the field. When hearing the sound of the helicopter, they quickly ran into the dense bushes, making it difficult for me to find the target. However, thanks to Tom's ingenuity, we discovered a larger herd of more than 10. Not being able to miss the opportunity, I focused on the biggest ones, pulling the trigger continuously. The wild boars were taken down one by one. We quickly chased the remaining targets. From the edge of the forest, Tom flew back to the field. The final targets gradually appeared. Unable to miss the opportunity, once again approached and surrounded the target. Confusion and panic had made them lose their inherent flexibility. 14. A few minutes passed, The entire herd of wild boars had been taken down by me. Adult wild boars, weighing 80, 120 kilograms, were scattered across the field. After many hours of hunting, we took down about 50 wild boars. However, this number was still a small number compared to the millions of individuals that were destroying the United States. However, that was also the motivation, giving us more strength for the next hunting trips. The last day of the wild boar control campaign has come. We are determined to conquer the highest peaks, where the wild boars have been thriving and causing a lot of trouble. Their destruction not only affects the crops, but also threatens the lives of local people. Therefore, we decided to kill as many wild boars as possible, so that the people here no longer have to live in fear. How will the confrontation with this monster turn out? Will we be able to complete the mission? Let's follow this dramatic journey to find out the final result. Early in the morning, before the sun had time to rise, a few friends and I were ready for the wild boar hunting trip that we had been waiting for all week. This time the destination was on a hill about 10 minutes drive from the residential area, a perfect place for hunting. The road up the hill was quite bumpy, but it could not discourage us. Starting from the hillside, we gradually moved up. Suddenly, a distinctive sound echoed from afar. The pigs had shiny black fur, large and flexible bodies, and were dragging each other along the forest trail. I looked through the lens of the shotgun, observing every movement of the target. The opportunity came, I held my breath and resolutely pulled the trigger. The shot rang out in the quiet space of the morning, and a large wild boar fell down immediately. That was the first pig on this trip. The battle officially began. I quickly chose for myself the most ideal ambush position. With the terrain being low bushes, it was not difficult for me to find the location of the wild boars. The moment it ran past, I would immediately aim and shoot. From an ambush point, I could observe the surroundings and take down several wild boars in succession. But today's battle has just begun. A few hours later, I changed to another position to wait for the prey. From above looking down the ravine, I could clearly see every movement of the wild boar herd. We could not miss the opportunity. Each person in the group immediately dispersed, each standing in a different position, ready to attack. A large male wild boar separated from the herd. This was my target. I fixed my eyes on the lens, carefully calibrated. A shot rang out, and the boar fell, but it was not an instantaneous defeat. It rushed forward at an unbelievable speed. The wild boar, wounded but still strong, rushed away, trying to escape while its wound was bleeding. I couldn't let it escape. I couldn't let this boar survive. A loud bang rang out, and the boar fell, no longer having the strength to continue. A perfect headshot, ending a dramatic chase. However, the battle was not over yet. The herd of wild boars was still there, with others lurking in the woods, just waiting for an opportunity to counterattack. Everything was going pretty smoothly until we discovered the tracks of a giant wild boar, weighing up to 300 kilograms. Following its trail, we realized that this was the largest, most mature boar we had ever seen. It was no ordinary boar, but a true beast in the world of wild boars. This boar was definitely the leader. I could feel the heat of the confrontation approaching. The atmosphere seemed more tense than ever. When we spotted the boar, it was standing there, looking at us with a wary gaze. It knew we were approaching, and immediately, the boar turned around and charged towards us. I was caught off guard, but as soon as it charged, I quickly aimed at a weak point on the boar's body. A series of shots rang out from our guns. Finally, after a series of accurate shots, the giant wild boar collapsed, ending the dramatic confrontation. After killing the beast, we continued to follow the tracks of the remaining wild boars in the herd. The footprints led us up another hill, where we spotted another wild boar wandering alone. Not missing the opportunity, I quickly engaged and took down the second boar of the trip. Not long after, we spotted another boar moving near the fence area. From my position on the hill, I adjusted my gun, aiming straight at the target. A shot hit the boar right in the chest, ending a tough day of hunting. As the sun began to set, we had killed a total of 4 wild boars, including a giant weighing up to 300 kilograms. Although we were tired, we were proud of having had a very successful hunting trip. Wild boars, a wild animal that not only causes huge economic losses, but also threatens the environment and ecosystem. They reproduce at a dizzying speed, destroy crops, devastate forests, and cause heavy losses to farmers. In particular, they also have the ability to adapt quickly to all living conditions, making their control a huge challenge. Therefore, a comprehensive plan has been drawn up to prevent the invasion of this animal. The plan was implemented not only based on weapons, but also on the sophistication in setting traps and tracking the movements of wild boars. Everything was ready, and the dramatic hunt began. That day, we arrived at the meeting point. This was a large area of land where wild boars often appeared. I began to check the surrounding area, looking for traces of wild boars. Large, deep pig footprints imprinted on the wet ground led me to an area near a dense bush. This was where they often visited. After identifying the familiar paths of the pigs, I decided to set traps at these strategic points. The traps were cleverly designed, effectively capturing wild boars without causing harm to them. To attract them, I used corn and wheat as bait. The scent of these baits is irresistible to the wild boars. To ensure that the surveillance goes smoothly, I also placed some infrared cameras near the traps so that I can observe the movements of the wild boars at night. Once the traps were set, I moved to the neighboring area, where I could easily observe any movements without being detected. The whole team sat waiting, concentrating, preparing for the next attack. Using the remaining bait, I spread them out on an open field, then climbed a nearby tree to hide and wait. In my hand was the Henry carbine, a gun that stood out thanks to its fast-firing mechanism, ease of use, and powerful damage. 1 hour passed. At this time, I discovered a mature wild boar weighing about 90 kilograms approaching. Little did it know that this would be its last meal. I did not hesitate, raised my gun, aimed accurately, and pulled the trigger. The shot rang out. The wild boar collapsed to the ground. The remaining ones panicked and ran away, running in different directions. The chase began. I signaled to the team members, each taking charge of an area, coordinating closely to ensure that no one was left behind, while I continued to track and shoot down the large wild boars. The smaller ones quickly rushed into the dense bushes, trying to escape. However, with the speed and accuracy of the team members, they could not escape. Each shot was carefully calculated. A large male wild boar, with shiny black fur and sharp tusks, was taken down after an extremely accurate shot. I felt nervous, but also proud when I saw the spoils I had collected. After completing the chase, we went back to check the trap we had set earlier. I was quite surprised by the number of wild boars stuck in the trap. They were all large, adult animals. We handled each one carefully, making sure not to harm them when removing them from the trap. These wild boars weighed between 80 and 120 kilograms, with long, sharp tusks and bulging muscles. They were valuable trophies, but they also caused terrible destruction to the surrounding environment. After several hours of intense fighting, together with the trap I had set the night before, we had brought down more than 40 wild boars. Quite an impressive result. However, this number was still nothing compared to the huge number of wild boars in the area. Wild boars reproduce very quickly, and if left unchecked, they will continue to destroy crops, causing great damage to farmers. We know that, although we have controlled it somewhat, without a long-term and sustainable plan, the invasion of wild boars will never end. Thank you for following this journey. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. See you in the next videos.
Turkey, the region land of majestic peaks and fierce snowstorms. In the harsh winter, this place becomes a paradise for wild boars to thrive. But when their numbers explode, they are no longer silent food hunters. In recent months, the villagers living at the foot of the mountain have been continuously attacked by wild boars. Herds of livestock were torn apart, food stores were destroyed, and some people even nearly lost their lives while passing through the forest. Unable to wait any longer, we, an experienced hunting team, decided to climb to the top of the snowy mountain, launching the biggest raid of this winter. The snow was half a meter thick, and every step was heavy. The group carefully followed the mountainside, where there were large footprints imprinted on the white snow. The snow covered the ground as if to block our progress, but with some effort, we found our first target. It wasn't too big, but it was quite agile. After a few minutes of watching, the first gunshot rang out, and the target quickly collapsed in the snow. After admiring the first spoils, we continued to hunt for other wild boars. Stepping on the cold snow, the whole team continued to wait for the appearance of larger prey. Continuing further, we discovered a small path made by wild boars. This was the route they used to move down the mountain. The group split into small groups, ready for a perfect ambush. Just a few minutes later, a large herd of wild boars appeared. Not wanting to miss the opportunity, we opened fire immediately. The herd of pigs ran deep into the dense forest, but we still found space to aim and shoot. Continuous gunshots rang out from our teammates. We fought with all our might to gain more achievements. From afar, a herd of wild boars appeared without warning, which confused us for a moment. Regaining our composure, we started shooting. The deafening sounds made us even more excited. There were already wild boars being taken down on the spot. After many hours of searching, on the white snow, wild boar footprints appeared, leading us up the mountainside. After a while, there it was. A herd of pigs was running away in panic when discovered. They split up and ran in different directions to distract the predator. We quickly raised our guns and fired at the herd of pigs. However, the distance and the speed of the pigs were too fast, making it impossible for us to aim accurately, so no pigs were taken down yet. After failing the first shot, we adjusted the scope, held the gun firmly, determined the critical point, and pulled the trigger. Perfect. After the crisp gunshots, more than half of the wild pigs were taken down. Continuing to move deeper into the forest, rustling sounds were heard. A herd of about 10 wild pigs was moving through this area. They were too fast. Our teammates had taken down one. Luckily, we were able to find them in time and support them, taking down a few more targets before the pigs disappeared from sight. A dark shadow suddenly rushed through the thick bushes, startling us. However, with quick reflexes, an accurate shot was made. This shot took down a rather large boar. As we were about to return, a giant boar suddenly rushed out of the pine forest. It was bigger than any we had ever seen. One bullet was not enough to take it down. It was still charging madly. A quick-witted member used a pistol to shoot it straight in the head, and it finally collapsed before it could attack anyone. Before we went down the mountain, a herd of boars came into our sights, but our shots only managed to take down one. However, we knew we did the best we could under the circumstances. Soon after, other boars were quickly found. We killed them all and left no chance for any of them to escape. The great spoils showed that we had a successful day's hunting. arrived at our friend's farm when we were immediately drawn into a tense story. The farm owner, with a tired face, told us that the wild boars had been wreaking havoc for weeks. During the day, they invaded the fields, plowing up rice fields and corn fields. At night, they sneaked into the livestock area, attacking livestock. Not just one, but 24 wild boars had come from the deep forest, brazenly occupying the territory, showing no signs of fear of humans. We couldn't let this situation continue, so we decided to get involved. A detailed hunting plan was drawn up. We divided into groups, used appropriate weapons, and prepared to confront the invaders. Following the traces they left, the whole team decided to leave the hiding place and pursue the target. Passing through a dense bush, the sound of heavy footsteps and panting from afar signaled their arrival. The wild boars did not expect that this time it would be the prey. When the herd got close enough, we opened fire. 3 of them fell immediately. The remaining 2 tried to run, but only managed to escape a few meters before being taken down by precise shots. At this time, we returned to the forest and saw a group of wild boars loitering nearby. The opportunity had come. Precise shot, the boar immediately collapsed on the spot. We knew we had taken it down. However, we realized a more serious problem. From behind the yellow trees, I observed a large wild boar running away. When it stopped, we immediately fired a shot. The bullet seemed to have hit its abdomen. However, it still tried to run away before collapsing a few meters away. Continuing the ambush and search on the other side of the hillside, we discovered another wild boar moving up. Hidden behind the deciduous forest canopy, the shape of the boar was faintly visible, but I managed to take a shot. The shot made it stagger for a moment before collapsing. The herd of pigs seemed to be cornered and immediately changed tactics. While moving and shooting, each accurate shot cut off their escape route. The herd of wild pigs was neatly annihilated. In the afternoon, we followed the footprints of the wild boar herd running up the hillside. Here, the terrain was more rugged, and the dense trees were an advantage for them. A wild boar suddenly rushed out from the bushes and attacked head-on. We quickly responded. After a loud gunshot, the wild boar was completely defeated. After a short rest, we continued the hunt. The whole team was still very enthusiastic in participating in the chase. The herd of boars was continuously defeated. Finally, after a long day of chasing and hunting, we defeated many large wild boars. The battle may not be over, but today, we are the winners. Early the next morning, we went to an area with more lush grass. This was also an ideal place to hunt wild boars. We crept through the bushes and found a herd of wild boars leisurely foraging. Hiding behind the bushes, we observed a huge wild boar. We quickly chose a favorable position and opened fire. The huge wild boar immediately struggled and fell. That made us more excited than ever. A few remaining wild boars wanted to take the opportunity to escape. However, we discovered them in time. A rain of bullets poured down. The black shadows were lying motionless on the ground. Based on the gluttonous habits of this pig, we decided to set up a feeding trough and a water tank in an open space near the edge of the forest. Then, find a suitable location to hide and observe the situation. An hour passed. The wild boars really appeared. They devoured the food without knowing that this was just a trap. After identifying the target, an accurate shot was made, opening our hunting trip. It couldn't have been a better start for today's hunting trip.
Ooh.